Development of the first Crysis began in the early 2000s, when the German company Crytek was founded by brothers John and Arek Janssen. They had experience in game development and decided to create their own studio, specializing in technologically advanced and visually stunning projects. The game Crysis was a continuation of the ideas laid down in their previous project, Far Cry. A key goal for Crysis was to create an outstanding graphical experience and introduce innovative technology into the gaming world. The main motto of the development team was maximum performance, maximum capabilities. The main focus was on the CryEngine engine, which allowed for the creation of stunning graphical effects in vast open worlds. An important element of Crysis was the realistic physics engine, which allows you to interact with the environment. However, the development process encountered challenges such as optimizing for the hardware of the time and ensuring consistent graphics quality across different PC configurations. The studio set itself high standards, and this led to Crysis becoming one of the most hardware-intensive projects of its time. The game was released in 2007 and immediately attracted attention with its stunning graphics, freedom of action, and unique armor mechanics for the main character's suit, which allowed the use of different modes to gain different abilities in battle. Crysis left a significant mark on the video game industry, becoming a benchmark for testing computer performance and one of the cult games of its time. Since the release of Crysis in 2007, the game has received rave reviews for its stunning graphics, innovative game mechanics, and high-tech solutions. However, Crysis faced challenges commercially due to its high technical hardware requirements, which limited the number of potential players. However, the game has become a cult favorite in the gaming industry and has had a significant impact on the development of video game technology. Due to this success, several key events and developments followed. 1. Ports and sequels. The game was ported to the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 consoles in the form of Crysis Warhead. This was followed by sequels to the series such as Crysis 2 2011 and Crysis 3 2013, which, although they used new technologies, did not always evoke such a strong response as the original. 2. Multiplayer mode. Crysis also introduced a multiplayer mode, allowing players to compete and cooperate in an online environment. However, it did not become as popular as many other multiplayer shooters. 3. Industry contribution. The high technical requirements of Crysis made it a kind of benchmark for testing the performance of graphics cards and computers. This has helped spur a race for hardware upgrades among gamers and computer companies. 4. Memes and cultural influence. The question, "Can it run Crysis?" became a phrase symbolizing the high technical demands of the game and became part of gaming culture. It also brought attention to Crysis outside the gaming community. 5. Remaster and return of attention. In 2020, Crysis Remastered was released, an improved version of the original game with improved graphics and new technologies. This remaster attracted the attention of both veterans and new players, instilling in them an interest in the classic. Thus, Crysis left its mark on the gaming industry, contributed to technological development, and continues to be remembered by gamers as one of the most technically advanced and iconic games. The development history of Crysis 2 includes several key moments that led to the creation of the second part of this popular game series. 1. After the success of Crysis. After the successful launch of the original Crysis in 2007, Crytek decided to continue developing the franchise and create a sequel that would retain the characteristics of the series, but would offer a new experience. 2. Change of location to New York. One of the most significant changes was the decision to move the events of the game from the tropical environment of the first part to the destroyed streets of New York. This choice gave the developers the opportunity to create an urban environment under alien threat, which added novelty and drama. 3. CryEngine 3 to create Crysis. 2. A new engine was used, CryEngine 3, which provides even higher quality graphics and advanced development capabilities compared to previous versions of the engine. 4. New hero and plot. The game has a new main character, Alcaraz, Al, Linder, an agent of Delta Force. The plot of Crysis 2 took place in the context of an alien invasion and the use of a nano-disaster in New York. Unlike the first part, the plot has become more linear, with a focus on the struggle for survival in the city. 5. Improved Nanosuit. The Nanosuit in Crysis 2 has received updated features, giving players more options to adapt to different combat situations. 6. Multiplayer. Crysis 2 included a variety of maps and modes in the multiplayer experience, allowing players to use their skills in a competitive environment. 7. Release and success. The game was released in March 2011 and received positive reviews from critics and players. Its success confirmed interest in the continuation of the series and the new opportunities provided by CryEngine 3. Thus, Crysis 2 continued the tradition of technically advanced games from Crytek, focusing not only on high-quality graphics, but also on story and gameplay innovations. The development history of Crysis 3 represents an interesting phase in the evolution of the series. Here is an overview of the main points of this process. 1. After the success of Crysis 2, development of Crysis 3 began after the successful release of the second part in 2011. Crytek decided to continue to develop the franchise, combining technical innovation and gameplay aspects. 2. New City, Central House, Crysis 3 takes place in Central House, CNY, which is a combination of New York City and a lush green national park. This varied landscape provided the opportunity for variety in gameplay. 3. CryEngine. 3. The game continued to use the powerful CryEngine 3 engine, which was already used in Crysis 2. This engine provided outstanding graphics and a physics model that supported new technologies such as ray tracing. 4. Continuation of the plot. Crysis 3 continues the plot events associated with the alien invasion, the CELL army, and the use of the nanosuit. The main character is the Prophet, a character from previous games who returns with the goal of liberating Central House from alien threats and the CELL Corporation. 5. Improved Nanosuit. Nanosuit has received additional features and improvements compared to previous parts. This allowed the player to adapt to the environment and use different tactics in battles. 6. Weapons and gameplay innovations. Crysis 3 introduced various gameplay changes, including improved archery mechanics, the ability to use the environment for tactical purposes, and new weapons and equipment. 7. Multiplayer mode. The game also included a multiplayer mode where players could compete in various modes and maps, taking advantage of the nanosuite and dynamic gameplay elements. 8. Game release and reception. Crysis 3 was released in February 2013. The game received positive reviews from critics and players for its graphics, story, and innovative gameplay solutions. Crysis 3 concluded the story of the Prophet and the alien invasion, giving players the final episode in this sci-fi saga.